Thanks for watching that horrible intro, by the way. It took me like 2 days to make because using a light motion for the first time is really confusing. And drawing the image is not exactly fast either. It's annoyingly long. I'm not an artist, by the way. Oh yeah, I have 3 things I need to mention before the video starts. The first one is English is my second language. Yeah, I might say some stuff incorrectly or use incorrect pronunciations or just saying words wrong. So I'm sorry for that. For the second one is the audio quality. I'm sure you already heard it. It sounded not good, right? It's because I don't have a mic. I'm literally recording this with my mouth near my phone charger hole. We're speaking to you currently as you're watching this. I don't have a mic, a small mic, or any kind of mic really. I'm not that rich. And lastly, I just want to mention that I can't say R, I can't say the letter R. So I'm sorry if some words doesn't sound correct in your ears. So yeah, that's basically the 3 of the thing I want to tell you about. Thank you, and I'm gonna go. Now let me introduce you to the character, and his name is Enela. Now, in the most simple way to explain his gimmick is the fact that he used mist to help people. Now, before we talk about the character's stat or abilities, I want to talk about his design first. Now, to talk about Enela by design is the fact that, if you look at him by the image I draw, he looks generic. He's just a white dude wearing a white hoodie, white long pants, white shoes, and also his powers revolve around mist, which is white. Well, mostly white. The whole point of Enela is the fact that he was the person that was in the middle of the survivor group. He's not an outcast like 7 and 7 or weird like 2-time, but it's not exactly like the main character syndrome of Shatletsky or Builderman. Well, the whole point of Enela is the fact that he is the forgotten one of the group. Not standing out, but not memorable. Now if we are talking about the lore, the whole gimmick about Enela is the fact that he is like a child that was blessed with the power to control mist. And I'm not exactly making a law right now on how he got forsaken into Spectre's realm, because I'm not wasting my time making fanfic of a character that will never be canon. Now with that out of the way, we can talk about how Enela gonna bring impact to the game. Well, gameplay wise at least. For the role, Enela's role is basically a mix between survivalist and support. Now let's talk about his abilities. For the first one is his passive ability. It's called I Got Your Back. This ability is basically Elliot ability but backward. With Elliot, you need your teammate being damaged or hurt for you to be able to see their aura. But instead, you need your teammate to be hurt, but they get to see your aura instead. Well, that passive worked well with his second ability, Pass It On Me. When your teammate was basically chased by the killer in the 4-tail radius, basically the chase team, you can come to the survivor that was being chased and tag them, giving them again the tag status effect for 5 seconds. Well, if you're asking what's the point of the status effect, well, to put it simply, upon receiving the tag status effect, the person who's receiving it will be given an active ability. If the person decided to activate the ability, they will quickly be covered in mist and switch place with the person that gives them the tag status effect. Now continue for our third ability, Feel It, Not See It. Upon receiving 15 damage or higher, you receive a stack of mist, and your ability becomes active. You can only stack 3 mist at a time. During activation, you will drain all of your mist stack and create a small pad of mist to the direction you're facing. The pad of mist will disappear after 10 seconds. The length of the pad of mist are based on how many stacks you have. Now let's explain Enela dynamic to the whole team for a bit. Yes, he is half survivalist, half support. However, I kinda want to go more in depth about what exactly he do and how it will affect the team. Now for starters, I'm sure you kinda already noticed that his role is basically guest. Even if his main core gameplay is basically different than guest, his role to the team is basically, well, guest. With guest, you're basically trying to slow down the killer or try to, tank the hit using your blocking abilities. Well, with you is you are the one trying to get chased by the killer by, teleporting the person being chased to you, and you are the one that switch place with that person instead. With the fact that taking chase is easier for any round rather than guess, I compensated by making him, his ability is not that strong. He's basically only have one ability to defend himself or to help others too with, Path of Mist. However, you kinda need to get damage first for that ability to even active to begin with, which is, is not exactly a good thing either. You kinda doesn't want to get damage in this game since it basically, lead you to death. Well, talk about the gameplay in the background, I kinda want to talk about his dynamic against dusekkar as well. While dusekkar by itself is more of the safe option on helping other survivors, he always put himself at risk, to help others. Both of his abilities slow him down, one for a bit and one for a long time. This basically create a dynamic between the two, while guest is someone who have to risk himself, near the survivor to help them by either charging or blocking the hit. My bad. While dusekkar need, a good placement because he can't fend for himself. Shooting the laser when the killer chasing you is not exactly a good idea. The thing about Enera is the fact that I was creating a survivor that was like the middle ground between guest and dusekkar. Dusekkar doesn't have, a way to defend himself. However, he can help people from far away, which make it less risky unless it's like 1x at the same ground. However, someone like guest requires short range helping because his ability all about, stalling the killer. With all of his abilities require him to be in close contact with the killer, which make him more risky than dusekkar. However, guest can use his abilities to defend himself from blocking killer's attack or using the charge to, reduce the damage from killer's hit or, just to stall time. This is why I'm trying to create Enera, which is a mix between the both of them. While Enera is less risky than guest since he's basically just teleporting people around, he is not as risk-free as as dusekkar because he doesn't have a skill to help with his mobility. Yeah, sure, his third ability, feel it not see it, might be useful for him to, loop around much longer. But it requires him to, get hit basically 3 times for it to be active. Which is not exactly ideal for, a survivalist. A normal hit is basically 20 attack. It basically 60 damage just for activating his ability once, which is extremely risky. And it's not exactly consistent either. Now you might ask, isn't this ability basically too weak? Yeah, sure. He can help people from, getting chased, but other than that, it's basically a death sentence, right? However, the reason why I make the character like this, because this character fully, require teamwork. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's just say you are the one being chased, and you see another survivor. You tag that survivor, and, if they accept that tag, they switch place with you, giving you more range, more distance, which basically giving you bleeding room to regain stamina or to just hide. The reason why I make Enera basically his ability like this is the fact that I want, a survivalists that encourage more teamwork in the game. Like, people complain that someone like Noob or 7 are basically camping corners and just hide all the game. Not doing anything, just doing objective and basically hide, which, not very useful. Which is why I basically created this character. He can use others to help himself getting into a safer distance from the killer. However, he can also help people by, taking the chase, which is making life easier for, let's just say, the Elliot House being tunneled out first, giving him more distance and, most likely break off chase. I also want to bring the dusekkar gameplay gimmick to an era. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that is basically how dusekkar, ability effectively work. I mean the shield one. For that ability to work, better, your teammate need to actually think about where to go, not just, lead the killer to dusekkar that was shielding you. It happens way too many times and way too annoying. Well, it's not exactly the same case with, Enela. However, you can also use that ability to help. If your teammate Enela is basically low, you can just come to them and basically aid them, letting him tag you, and then when you get enough distance, you can basically get teleport and you take the chase for him. With Enela, I want to encourage people to, to think ahead on what to do. Because let's just say you're giving the tag, the tag status effect. If you use it too early, you gain no distance. But if you use it too late, well, the button is gone. You need to learn how to, when to place it and where, so it gets the most value for the both of you. The same way with dusekkar, you kinda need both you and the person you're shielding to actually think, which is kinda hard for the Forsaken community, I suppose. But yeah, that is basically the whole concept of Enela, a survivalist support that requires both you and the person you help to actually think ahead on what and when to use the ability. It wasn't just you press one button and you suddenly help. He is a survivalist to help himself, but also can help others as well, which is what I want. I don't want to, like most people said, I don't want survivors to just stand there on the corner of the map doing nothing. But I don't want them to, be felt like they need to babysit every single survivor out there. Well, anyway, that is basically this whole video. I think it's a bit too long now. I'm gonna end it now. Thank you for watching, I suppose. And see you later. Oh yeah, please comment about what you think about the balance of this character. I haven't decided the cooldown for this character. If you guys can, comment and tell me what cooldown it should be. If it should be lower or more strong. Oh yeah, I mean stronger. Tell me in the comment. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.